What's up? Here once again with well, just say that we're going to talk about President Trump and the wall. It seems to be like, it's escalating and it's escalating and it's escalating. And usually I don't really go off of politics too much. I'm just an observer. I don't have a dog in the race. You know, I would like to see things go well with our country, our economy, and our society as a whole. But let me explain one thing that I've heard in my years of living. I've never heard 100% of all of the people at any given president's term speak positively about an individual. There's always been negative connotations. No one person is perfect. No one person is going to fit everybody's liking. It's an impossibility. It's an impossibility. And it's like that in general life. For every person that a million people like, there's going to be somebody that doesn't like them for whatever reason it may be. But let's talk about this wall for one moment, okay? Let's just really look at it logically, because I've talked to a lot of people about it and they just think it would be a waste of time. It's dumb, a waste of money. And let's just really get to the core of it. Why is he on this soapbox about it? Let me tell you something about Donald Trump, okay? He cares about the people. He cares about his country, which, if you're an American and you live in America, is your country, okay? What he is saying is to put up a wall that will not interfere with any of your day-to-day activities. It is a construct. It is a protection, a barrier, which when Hillary Clinton was in the Senate of New York, said that there should be a barrier. Now she's going to jump up and down and say, well, she's not referring to a wall, a barrier. We'll call it a barrier. He's going to build a steel barrier. Democrats have long been on the understanding that there is a situation of pertinent endangerment on the border. Okay? Will a wall cure the problem? No, it won't. By any means, it will not fix the problems. Can people get around a wall, go under a wall, go over a wall? Yes, they can. You have got a point on that. You are a genius. Now what I want you to do is I want you to take any fence that you might have around your home, around your work, and take them all down. Let's take all the fences down. Do you know what a fence is? Do you know what a wall is? Do you know what a gate is? It is a deterrent. It's a deterrent from the normal, mindless person that just roams around and commits crimes or looks for an easy, point to exploit. It is a deterrent. Just because you have a 10-foot wall around your house, just because if you live in apartments, they have a gated community, it does not guarantee your safety or guarantee 100% that a thief will not penetrate that and do what they want to do. I am of a set mind that if a criminal has the mental capability and the physical ability to do it, they will do it. If somebody wants something bad enough, they will go to any means necessary to do it. But if you have these deterrents in place, like walls, fences, security cameras, floodlights, these are not going to 100% eliminate the problem. Nor do I think that it's advertised that it will completely stop everything. It is a deterrent. It is a limiter in essence. It limits. Instead of having thousands of miles. Or, I don't know if it's thousands of miles. We'll say hundreds of miles. I'm imagining that it's 1,000 miles, but I don't know. I haven't done that research. But we'll just say miles and miles and miles, because from Texas to California is a pretty vast area of open, unregulated, I mean, it is regulated by Border Patrol and ICE and other agencies that, you know, deal with illegal immigration. But the thing about it is that it's people and their habits can be watched, they can be observed, and they can be taken advantage of. A wall is much harder to do. A wall is a larger, more vast deterrent. I'm not saying that. And here's the other thing. As far as money goes, they talk about, oh, it's just a waste of money. Where else is the money going to go? Who cares? Are you understanding where most of government money goes? Do you understand that it usually goes overseas? Do you understand that it goes to foreign aid? I mean, let's really get on a thinking that if you have limitless funds, okay, you have a nice house, okay, you have a multi-million-dollar house, you have cars that are worth several $100,000, you have the interiors that are decked out with, financial, big items, right? So not only do you have a monetary investment that you wish to protect. Now let's talk about stuff that's completely erasable. Stuff that's completely, you can't put it, like family, your own life, your own security and protection, and your own comfort, your own sense of security. That stuff is invaluable. Would you put a fence around your multi-million-dollar home, protecting your assets and your sense of security and protection of your family? Of course you would. Of course you would. You would just put $1 million home in the middle of a field and just be like, hey, you know what? Here I stand. I mean, you might do that. I mean, if you did, you probably wouldn't live anywhere near any kind of rural, suburban area or anything like that. You would live in a well-secluded area if you didn't have fenced in. But let's get real. There's a reason why, as a part of a selling tip, a lot of communities sell a point that's called gated communities. When you drop your kids off at school, don't you want to know that they're secure, they're safe, don't you want them to know that they have video cameras, even security, or even, let's get rid of all the metal detectors at school. Can we do that? No, why not? I'll tell you why. Because it's a safeguard, it's a measure, it's a deterrent for some knucklehead that might want to bring a weapon to school. Is it ridiculous that we need this type of stuff? Sure. But let's not get mad at somebody who sees an opportunity to fix something. And, the Democrats have always said that they want to do it. They put money over there for, want to put money over there in other countries to build walls. And they think that walls are a really great idea. Their homes are surrounded by walls and fences. It's one of the things that is the most stupidest thing that I've ever seen in my life. Sure, you can go around it, you can go under it, you can go over it, but it is a deterrent. I don't think it is being advertised as a cure-all. Now, let's talk about something else, because I have to make this said. As far as my own personal perspective, I understand that there's a lot of, people that flee their countries and, come here for a better opportunity. There is a way to do it. I know people that have done it, and by no means am I saying that, that we need to separate ourselves and we're better than these people or anything like that, because I have friends that have gone through the process and they have become legal. They've had the interviews, they work. And I hold them in the highest esteem and highest regard as some of the best people that I know. Most ethical. Um, they have a certain standard that is very good, and they're going through a due process. But there are people that want to take advantage of no security, open border, to do illegal activity. A lot of this stems from MS-13. That's something that you hear quite a bit about. There's reasons why. You need to do your own personal investigations. I'm not going to go in and name and point fingers at this, but let's just use a little common sense. And I'm in no way saying that, you know, everybody that comes across the border is bad. Not saying that. Not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that if you have something that you deem valuable, you care for it, like a home, like a property, like I don't, just common sense tells you you're gonna put a fence around it. I mean, a lot of times when people have pets at a house, they'll put a fence up, and it's kind of to keep the pet in, but it's also to keep the pet safe, right? So you don't let your dog, or whatever animal you have in your backyard, your horse or whatever, your fence, you don't just let it run around because it could become endangered, it could get hurt, it could get run over, there's many different things, there's variables. A wall or fence limits those variables. It's a protective measure. That's all it is. People need to stop, really use their mind, because this is something that we as a people can decide on. And are we really deciding that this wall is a terrible decision, it's a waste of money? It's not going to affect you. It's taxpayers' money? Yeah. Well, guess what? It's not going to affect your day to day. Gas prices are as low as they have been in a long time. There's a lot of beneficial stuff coming. And if the men didn't care about people, a lot of people were concerned about the income tax, being delayed or not even being taking place because of the shutdown. People are in place because Trump understands what drives America. Trump understands what economics are. Okay, he's not some guy who grew up rich. He did grow up rich. I shouldn't say that, but he did grow up rich. But he worked for a lot of stuff. He understands economics. He understands business deals. He understands the world of business very, very well. Not like some of these silver spoon, slick talking, politicians. And what's important is the American people. They have a standard of life, and we as people, we look forward to. It's really kind of ass backwards on this, but we are programmed and acclimated to certain times. Some people are, acclimated to the 1st and the 15th of the month. Some people are acclimated to the income tax time. Some people dread it. Some people don't. But we are acclimated to a certain way of life. That wall is not going to sway your life. If anything, it's going to be better, because all of the influx of illegal people that are coming here unduly will now be forced to go through the due process and register, which really is not a bad thing. Which is really not a bad thing, So I just wanted to say that about Trump and the wall, because I've heard so much about it. It's driving me nuts. It really is, because it's just like, give the guy a break. I mean, if that's the worst thing that you guys can come up with is, they've gone through the Russian collusion, they've gone through all these different things, and in all reality, I see him on the news and dealing with these people, and he's starting to look a little frazzled, because he's repeating himself. And how frustrating can it be to just say, look, we just want a wall. Give us the money. He doesn't want to declare a state of emergency. He doesn't want to go down the other avenues. He doesn't understand how they can be in favor, switch it up, and then it's a big issue. So, and people are just like, oh my God, he's just doing whatever he wants. He's just pissing on everything. He's just having a temper tantrum. No, he's really not. He's trying to make people understand and bring this out to light. And what people are doing is they're just turning it into a them versus him, or something like that. It's a wall. It's a wall. It's not like he's trying to get people to go to war. It's not like he's trying to take people's guns or give kids guns, or I mean he wants to build a protective barrier on the southern border. Okay? Now here's the deal. Is it effective? Even if it's not effective, that's what he wants to do. Out of all the decisions, out of all the politicians, out of all of the things from the past, this is what he wants to do, and this is what the big problem is, and I just don't understand it. So maybe somebody out there can help me understand what the big problem is with having a wall. But I had to just say that, and I went on a 15-minute rant on about some bullshit, and I didn't want to, but there you go. Have a good one.